Welcome back, guys. It's Dr. Mike. Today we're going to take you through a home workout that is going to train your core and your legs without any equipment needed. Let's get started. Let's go ahead and get started. So welcome to the Move with Dr. Mike fitness class. We are going to go over a workout that's going to be 10 minutes long. This is going to be working our core muscles, our upper body, and even our legs. Just with any layout with these fitness classes, I'd like to start us off with a warm-up, go through about a 10-minute workout, and then as well as go through a cool down. And the objective of these exercises and these warm-ups and this workout in particular is so that everyone can participate. So I will be providing some options for everyone there. Okay, so we're gonna get started off with our warm-up. We have about 4 exercises, and the first exercise we're gonna work on is a single leg balance and a forward T. So I'm gonna show you this from the side here. So you're gonna bring one leg up into a single leg balance, and then you're gonna work on bringing that same leg behind you, and you're using your hands to balance, okay? If you need to hold on to something, that is totally fine. Once again, bring one leg up and then go ahead and take it behind you. So we're just waking up our balance system here. And you'll do 3 on each side. Okay, so there's 3 for me on one side. Show you the other direction. Okay, so second exercise, we're gonna call this a bottoms up squat. We're loosening up the hips here. You're gonna try your best to grab the bottom of your toes, and you're going to basically sit down into a squat. And while holding your toes, you're gonna raise your hips up and then sit back down, okay? Raise your hips up and then sit back down. If that's difficult for you, you can also just practice holding on to something for support and then just kind of slowly dropping down into a squat, starting to loosen up the knees and the hips. Okay, so bottoms up squat. We're gonna do 5 of these, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. We're gonna move on to a side lunge just to loosen up the inside of our hips here. You can hold on to something for support for this. We're just gonna shift our body weight to one side, bend the leg down, and drop down into a side lunge. So you can dictate how far you wanna go down here. You don't have to go too far where it hurts your knees. I like to have my hands kind of in front to balance myself out. So we'll do 5 on each side. So we're just warming up the legs before we get started. Good, I have about 2 more on each side. All right, and then similar to the second one is just going to be an air squat. So we're just practicing squatting down, bringing your hips back, having your hands in front of you for counterbalance, and you'll just drop down into a squat. If squatting is too difficult, you can also just practice going from a chair, because most likely this is what you're going to do in today's workout, where you're going to sit down into a chair and stand back up. The lower the chair, the harder this is going to be. It's going to require your legs to really work harder to sit out of the chair. I have a bench here for demonstration purposes. And this one we're going to do about 10 here, okay? So you can go a little faster. Once you got about 10 reps here, that's gonna be one round of the warm-up. We're gonna go ahead and go through that whole warm-up one more time. Okay, so just a reminder, we have the single leg balance and the forward T. We have our bottoms up squat. We have our side lunge and we have our air squat. So you can go ahead and follow along with me as I go through these. We got 3 of these first. Just warming up the body, getting it ready for the workout. Nothing wrong with holding on for support if you need to. No problem with that. 3 on each side. One of my favorite warm-ups there. Perfect. Now we have bottoms up. So grabbing the bottom of our toes, holding on to them the entire time if we can. Our only thing that should really be moving is our hips. So they're going up and then they're dropping down into a squat. So we have 5 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we should already start to feel a bit loose there. Now side lunges, we got 5 to each side, okay? If you're feeling more comfortable, you can obviously drop down a little lower, open up those hips a little further. One more there. Okay. And then the last exercise as our warm-up is going to be our air squat. Once again, we're going to do 10 of these. And you can also do these from a chair if you need to. But here we're just going nice and slow, just loosening up the hips. If you're doing this at your desk or at work, you can also hold on to something to support you. Either way, just loosening up those muscles and lengthening those tissues to get ready for the workout. Couple more here and then we'll go over today's workout. All right, good. If you need to grab some water, go and grab some water as I go over the layout for today's class. As I talked about early on, that the warm-up is always gonna prep the body, prime the body to get us started. The workout itself is only gonna be 10 minutes long, and these are made specifically to focus on body weight exercises, and they are scalable so that all of us can participate in this workout. But we don't need any weight for this. That's why it's great to perform these at home, because this is the perfect home workout. And then at the end, we are gonna cool down. I'm a firm believer of cooling down after some vigorous exercise. So you'll see these exercises will challenge you. They'll get your heart rate up. But if at any time you need to stop and take a break, by all means, sit down, get some water. Just know the workout is 10 minutes long. Okay, so the layout of the workout, we're gonna do 5 rounds, and we're gonna go every 2 minutes for 5 rounds. So that's gonna total of 10 minutes of work. And there are gonna be 3 movements that we're gonna go over today, okay? The first movement is going to be shoulder taps. I'm gonna demonstrate this on an elevated bench because maybe most of us can't do this from the ground. Essentially, if you're doing this from the ground, your hands are just gonna be underneath your shoulder, okay? You're going down in a push-up position, but we're not doing a push-up. We're just holding a shoulder tap. So you're in this kind of plank position, and you're gonna use the opposite hand to touch the shoulder, okay? So you're tapping the shoulder side to side. You're gonna feel this in your core, and you're gonna feel this in your shoulders. The higher the surface, the easier this is gonna be. If you wanna challenge yourself, you're gonna do this from the ground, okay? So when I do the workout today, I'm gonna do this from the ground to challenge myself, but I wanted to show you that with the elevated surface. Now, that's gonna be 10 reps total, so 5 on each arm. We call that shoulder taps. So that's the first movement. Second movement is going to be squat jumps. So essentially, we already warmed up for this, but you're gonna go down into a squat, and as you come back up, you're gonna try to jump straight up to the ceiling. Okay, trying to get some explosive movement through our legs. We know that working those muscle fibers, those fast twitch muscle fibers are really good for us as we get older. So we're working fast twitch. Doesn't even matter how low you go. What matters is the jump up top. Focusing on getting that head straight up to the ceiling. So 10 squat jumps. If you can't jump or can't squat, you can still do this from a chair or a bench. Same thing, right? You're still sitting down, still jumping, or maybe you just don't like jumping too hard on the knees. You can still squat there, okay? And then the last movement, I'm sure everyone's favorite, is the burpee. And before you say, oh my gosh, burpees, we can always modify these burpees by an elevated surface, and you're only gonna have to do 5 of these, okay? So essentially I'm gonna show you a burpee from the ground. So that's when we drop to our ground, chest touches the ground, we come back up and stand up. Obviously you can go a little faster than that. If you're doing this from a bench, you're gonna come down on the bench, you can do a slight push-up, and then we can jump, because the top of a burpee typically is a jump. So just know if you have problems in the shoulders, don't worry too much about the push-up. Really focus on getting down, trying to go as low as you can. If possible, jump at the top. Nice thing about that one, you only have to do 5. So just a reminder, every 2 minutes, we're gonna do those 3 movements. Once you have completed those 3 movements, you are going to rest for the remainder of the 2 minutes. We're gonna do that for 5 rounds. So you're gonna get a lot of accumulated reps within those 5 rounds. If you find yourself running out of time and 2 minutes is not enough, just start all over from the top. And once again, remember, if you need to stop and take a break, totally okay. So 10 shoulder taps, 10 squat jumps, and 5 burpees. So I have a clock here, and this is gonna show us how much time we have in every 2-minute interval. Remember, we have 5 rounds of this. After we're done with this workout, we're gonna cool down, and then we'll be done for today. Okay? I'm gonna move this bench out of the way. And this is gonna have a 10-second countdown. So once 10 seconds is up, you're gonna see it, and then we're gonna get started. Okay? Crank up this music. 10 seconds there. All right, starting off with shoulder taps. After shoulder taps, we have 10 squat jumps. Already feeling my legs. When we're 30 seconds in, we got 5 burpees. Okay, good. 1 round is done. For me, at least. I see maybe some of you guys are still working. That is okay. We got a minute of rest. So this is perfect because it allows us to get some work in, get our heart rate up, and then now it drops down because we have about a minute, hopefully, if you're done, still working. Allows us to calm back down. This is where we can focus on some deep breathing, learning how to bring that heart rate back down. If you've heard of HIIT interval training, essentially that's kind of what we're doing. Bringing that heart rate up, bringing it down, bringing it up, bringing it down. Very good for cardiovascular health to implement, okay? There's benefits to going long time and going slow, but then there's also benefits to going fast for a short period of time. That's why these workouts hopefully are gonna challenge you in that manner, okay? Moving on to round 2 with those shoulder taps. All right, 10. Squat jumps. Good. All right, moving on to the burpees, my favorite. Just kidding. Something about those burpees that really just gets your heart rate up. They are just so challenging. We got a minute of rest if you're still working. I've seen some people do this at home from a couch, elevated surface, still get the benefit out of jumping and moving. And that's what these exercises are essentially doing. The jumping is really making you work a little harder versus working on more slower, controlled movement. My heart rate is already up, so hopefully everyone at home is having a good time. We just finished round 2, moving on to round 3. Remember, this is 5 rounds total and then we're done. 10 minutes of work. You'd be surprised what you can achieve in just 10 minutes. Okay, and hopefully these exercises give you guys some ideas of ways that you can spice up your home workouts, okay? All right, 5 seconds. We're back to those shoulder taps. Remember, if you need to, do this from an elevated surface if you're having problems with your shoulder. Go and go 10 shoulder taps. All right, we got squat jumps. All right, burpees. All right, whew. If burpees sometimes can be a high impact for a lot of people's shoulders or elbows or maybe wrist. So if you need to skip the push-up portion of the burpee, totally fine with that. You can just go down into the plank position, come back up and just jump. I'm sweating. I know you guys at home are sweating. Hope you're having fun. You got about 40 seconds of rest. We have 2 more rounds left. And then we're done. 2 more rounds. Focus on that deep breathing. Control into your nose. Hold it for about 2 seconds and then out through your mouth. The goal on these recovery breaths, longer exhale, okay? Longer exhale, pause as we inhale, okay? But can't do that much more because we already have our next round coming up. Round 4, 5 seconds left. We're back on these shoulder taps. All right. All right, here we go. Squat jumps. All right, burpees. We're almost done, guys. When your heart rate's up and you're breathing really hard, sometimes you forget where you're at. So I think I did an extra burpee that time. That's okay. 1 minute left in this fourth round. Then we have one more round, guys. One more round. Please comment here on the end, obviously, which one of these exercises was the most challenging for you. I'd like to know. 40 more seconds. Let's go through this deep breathing. We only have about 2 more minutes of work left, and then we can relax and cool down. Okay, really grab some water if we need to. There we go. 15 seconds. This is gonna be our last round. You guys have done a great job. Keep it up, okay? 10 seconds. I am gonna be drenched after today. All right, last round, here we go. Go, shoulder taps. There we go. Now we got squat jumps. Feel the legs. Okay, burpees, last one here, guys. Alrighty. As we are running down the clock, if you're still working, you got 1 more minute. Keep breathing, keep working through there, challenging yourself. If you're finished, give yourself a pat on the back for showing up today and working out. We got about 47 seconds left. You're still working there. If you finish, go ahead and grab some water, grab a towel. And we're gonna let those people who are still working wind down and finish off this workout well. And here we're gonna finish off with a cool down after we're just about finished here. We're gonna go through 3 stretches to help cool us down and really help kind of ensure that we're not so sore after this workout today. Hope you guys enjoyed today's workout. Really wanted to challenge you guys and hope you guys got that today, okay? So, finishing off about 10 seconds here. We're gonna show you 3 stretches like we've talked about. First one is gonna be a downward dog. If you're familiar with the downward dog, you're gonna also have the option to do this from the ground. I'm gonna show you from an elevated surface because maybe some of us at home do not wanna get on the ground. But essentially, you're going to spread your feet. Your hands are gonna go on that elevated surface, and you're gonna just try to drop your head all the way down, opening up our upper back, which we call our thoracic spine, our shoulders, okay? Opening them up, we're gonna hold for about 30 seconds, okay? Take some deep breaths there. Loosen up, you can kind of lean your body to one side, see if you feel tighter on one shoulder than the other. If you want to reach your hands even further, just make sure we keep those hips as back as far as possible as we stretch that out. It's almost done with that 30 seconds. Okay, good. Now we're going to move on to our hip flexor stretch. I've shown this in a previous video, in one of my lower back videos. It's one of my favorite ones to help open up the hips if you're someone who deals with low back pain. So you can do this in a half kneel position. I'm going to show everyone in a standing position. So one leg goes in front of the other. Front leg is going to bend. Back leg is going to stay as straight as possible. And you're going to reach up towards the ceiling. And the important part here is you're going to side bend away from the back leg. Okay, so move away from the side that's down behind you. The other hand, you can either support yourself here, or you can drop it down towards the ground to feel a stretch through the front of the hip, as well as your obliques and your core, and even in your shoulder. Okay? One of my favorite ways to kind of loosen up the hips, especially when I'm at work. Let's go 5 more seconds here. Okay, if we do one side, we're also going to want to do the other. Reach back, that back leg. Stretch that whole side out. If you want to make this more challenging, you can even shift your body weight forward to get more bend in the front leg. Alrighty, then we're going to finish off with a standing exercise, a stretch. We're going to separate those feet. You're just going to fold your body over, reach down towards the ground. You're going to feel this in your hips, your lower back, even in your hamstrings. We're going to go 30 seconds, okay? Now, the wider that your feet are, the harder this is going to be. You're going to start to really get into that inner thigh muscle there. And if that's too difficult to reach towards the ground, you can always do this by supporting yourself, okay? So you can still spread those feet, reach down, and maybe that's just with one arm at a time. And then after maybe 10 or 15 seconds, you can go both arms at the same time. Or you're just hanging out here and you feel just enough stretch in the hamstrings. Alrighty, there you go. The home workout that hopefully challenged your legs and your core. Hope you found this video helpful. If you want to see more videos like this that go over home workouts that you can achieve at home, please comment below on what type of exercises or videos that you'd like for me to cover. In the meantime, to support this channel, please subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.